This might not make sense, but the Sharks have been the best of the tanking teams. I like us, the best of the tanking teams. The amount of close games, compete in the team, etc. They could have a quick turnaround. Optimally, that would be true. I think what you've seen is even on this road trip, it's been such a confusing Sharks team because they play that game well in Winnipeg. And they come back and score with 10 seconds left, send it to overtime, win in overtime. There's a lot of fight in the Sharks. Okay, Winnipeg is a still decent, but struggling, but hungry team. Really good win by the Sharks. Then they fly down to Denver. Back-to-back, it was the third game in 4 nights, and they get walloped. I mean, the Sharks didn't even have a shot, I think, until the first, 15 minutes into the game. They had 2 shots in the first period. They had 5 shots in the second period. By that point, the Sharks had 7 shots after 40. Sharks had 7 shots. Avs had 6 goals. Jared Bednar totally pulled the foot off the accelerator in the third period, didn't play a lot of his stars, and because of it, look, the Sharks could have probably got beat 9-0 in that game. And yeah, the Avs are that good. Defending Cup champions who only got stronger before the deadline. I wish them the best. But, that getting crushed like they did, that was actually abnormal. There have been a few games that unraveled, that got out of hand for the Sharks this year, but there have also been some really close games that unraveled, like at the very end, and they lose by the slimmest of margins. They have actually they've not been victim of the drubbing a lot this year. They really haven't. It's happened a few times, but that happens to every team over the course of an 82-game season. At least once or twice. Maybe to them it's happened 3 or 4 times, but you understand the point here. But you're right. They have lost so many games, even like tonight. Tied at 1 after 1. Tied at 2 after 2. Blues score twice in the third, get one at even strength, get the last one because you took a penalty on the power play. Over the course of the, let's say, first 45, 6 or 7 minutes, it was really even. But after 60, which is all that matters, the Sharks just can't close out games. They can't hang in the final 10 to 12 to 15 minutes of a lot of games. Make a few mistakes, take a couple penalties, and it also does seem like quite often the Sharks make the slightest mistake, the most unfortunate of careless turnovers, the quickest of missed coverages on in the D zone, and all of a sudden it's in the back of your net. So I agree with you. All that to say that I do agree with you. The Sharks have been in a lot of games this year, more than their record would indicate, but here's the stat. The Sharks have 47 total losses, right? Including, regular losses and overtime losses. 47 times they've been defeated. 27 of those 47 losses, they've had a lead at some point. And I think it's even in the third period, it's now up to 12 or 13 or 14. So really late leads. It's one thing if you score first and then other team scores the next 3, all in the first period. You were maybe never even really in that game. But how many times this year have they had a lead that was significant enough at a late enough point to just, maintain it? And they couldn't do it. It's been a hallmark of the team. I agree with you. That is an encouraging sign. It goes to show, first off, we've already declared this. Tanking does not happen. It will not happen for the Sharks. Too many prideful players, too many prideful coaches. It's not on the table, not in the cards. If the team gets worse in the immediate future because they don't have a Timo Meier, they don't have a handful of players they counted on, because they were traded for future considerations, that's not tanking. That's strategic maneuvering. So I appreciate that thought, and I agree with it. Scored the first goal 32 times. Only won 11 and lost 21. Wow. Lost 21 times when scoring first. See, now that's more like it. That's what I was saying. Had the lead total 39 times. Won 12, lost 27. Yikes. There's good parts of that. You always want to score first. You want to have leads. obviously. But they're just not able to ultimately finish the job.